If you notice in this room, if you're watching the No Cover Charge podcast.
Are you really watching?
Which you can do on YouTube or Spotify. Did you know there's a video player?
I didn't know that until I saw us on Spotify, and it actually freaked me out a little bit. It was cool.
Anyway, it's a dimly lit room, maybe.
Ooh, spooky.
This is our first night pod.
This is the night pod, bro.
Our first podcast done after 5 p.m.
After hours.
Waiting for our friend, the incredible Josh Smith. I need to come up with better adjectives. I saw some comments saying, stop calling everyone amazing and incredible and genius.
What are you supposed to lie? Because they are amazing, incredible, and genius.
Yes, you have to be an amazing, incredible
Honestly,
genius
Josh,
on the show, except if you're us.
Dude, I've said this about a few of our guests. Like, they're like aliens, they're freaky, they're scary.
He has 13 gauge strings on his guitar.
I gotta ask him about that.
He was over my house actually about this time last year, rehearsing with Joe Bonamossa's band. Mm-hmm. No slouches allowed in that band.
No slouches allowed with Joe, man.
If you're playing guitar with Joe, then you don't really have to say anything other than that.
He seems like the kind of guy that you think you got him figured out. Like, oh, I know what this guy does with the guitar. Mm-hmm. You know, that's an easy thing that we all try and do.
Yeah.
Is you kind of just like peg people. But with Josh, that river runs deep, my man.
Can't wait to have him over here in just a few minutes on the No Cover Charge podcast.
Let's go! Do you guys want to get to know each other? Like we could jam a little bit?
You guys want to jam a little bit?
for coming, man.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah.
You know, I've been watching some of the episodes. It's been cool to see you guys getting into this.
Almost like a year ago today, maybe?
Was it only a year ago?
Maybe July is when we first got in touch. Here we are again. What's changed in the last year for you?
The Yankees eliminated the Red Sox.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that.
I'm going to start with that.
Let's start there.
Hold on, I don't have my Red Sox hat this time, yeah.
So we both came up short this year, but
Right.
at least the Yankees beat your team. So
Yeah, we can always,
I can hang my hat on that.
we can always earmark our time together based on what's going on in the MLB. So the Dodgers are probably going to win the World Series. Is that
Well, it looks like Toronto's going to win. They're up 3-2.
Oh boy.
I thought the Shohei Magic was going to carry him, but
I thought so too, but man, Toronto is a resilient team this year.
that's
I
true.
mean, they took us out, you know.
Yeah.
Not that I'm pulling for them, but
Who's the Shohei Ohtani of guitar?
who's the Shohei Ohtani of guitar that can do, what's the equivalent of being able to pitch and to hit
Yes, that's what I'm
on
saying.
guitar? To me, maybe that would be like if you're an insane songwriter and improviser. And
Yeah. Yeah.
Or is it multi-instrument, like the best ever?
That's a good question. I don't know. Who's the best multi-instrumentalist of all time?
That's the question.
I don't know.
I don't know that
Who's
answer
even
either.
on the list?
Of multi-instrumentalists?
Prince?
Yeah, Prince would be up there for
I was
sure.
thinking like Paul McCartney.
Yeah,
but, like,
Paul McCartney. He's Paul McCartney, as far as being a performer and a writer,
He's like a threat
is
on
an
Yeah,
all-time.
dual threat. So we'll say dual
Yeah.
threat.
People are going to bombard it and be like, how could you not say that?
Wolfgang Van Halen has been recording all of his stuff by himself and cloning himself in his videos. It's pretty great.
That's hilarious.
Do you play other instruments?
Nah.
Yeah, same.
I feel like editing video is sort of an instrument that I've learned. It's not a musical instrument. Also, I have a huge appreciation for piano. If I could pick an instrument to play,
Can't at all.
it would be the piano.
Do
If I
you,
could
do you
just-
play other instruments?
No, man, I fake my way through bass. Of course.
well,
we
bass-
all do.
wait.
Josh goes, oh, bass.
No, we
It's
all
got
play.
strings on it. I can fake my way
Exactly.
through it.
But as
Like
far
a-
as actually playing, no.
I've played, you know, I will say like on sessions, there are sessions where I faked mandolin, I faked banjo,
Right.
I faked pedal steel or
Yeah,
lap
yeah.
steel. I've played bass on sessions
Yeah.
for sure, but never keyboards or
No.
anything like that. I can play certain drum grooves.
Oh, wait, what kind of groove was it?
I can play a shuffle, like a
Nice.
blues shuffle.
Drums is the most fun instrument, I would argue, to play.
I wanted to be a drummer straight up before I even played guitar because it looks so fun.
Why didn't you?
My dad was like, there's no way you're playing loud drums.
That's usually how it goes.
He's like, get a guitar. He didn't play, but he's like, it has a knob for volume.
Right.
You can
Yeah.
play that. And I was like,
Yeah, you can play unplugged in your
exactly.
bedroom. Yeah.
The question is, would you want to learn drums? Let's say you're 15 years old right now, and you only had the option to use one of those silence kits.
Oh.
Would you still choose to play the drums, or would you go a different?
No, if that was my only option, nah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's funny,
no.
we played a show with The Who just like last month.
Okay. I've heard of the Who.
Yeah, dude.
And so they had that whole hullabaloo with Ringo's son,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zach
Zach.
losing the gig, and he was already playing, you know, electronic drums because they keep this, because Pete has hearing thing, Roger has hearing thing, they keep the volume way down. So the new drummer was playing electronic drums, and the stage volume was so low. But what was funny was I went out front during sound check, and they sounded great. Like Roger was singing good, Pete was playing, it was really cool. They're super nice, but the drummer, they're playing something, right? And he hits a cymbal, and he goes to where you would like go to catch it to shut off the ring, and he triggered another hit. How hard? Yeah, exactly. And I could see the look on his face, like, fuck these fake
like,
ass
"Oh,
drums. You know what I mean? Like,
Because
yeah.
he has to use them. It's not his
He has
choice.
to, has
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Honestly, though, it would be like if we played guitar, like, and it was just through like only a sample sound or something.
Have you ever played one of those guitars with the like noodly strings on them? It's sort of like a ukulele.
I've seen the bass version of that.
Yeah, the Jacob Collier played one, and it's
Oh, yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like this slimy little looking
Yeah.
stringed instrument. There's MIDI versions of that, I'm sure.
Speaking
About
of
the old
yeah.
school MIDI guitars,
That's
not
what's
with
the-
strings, but the ones where it had a button for every note on the fretboard.
Dude, I saw one of those recently.
Yeah.
It was gnarly. It's for sale here in town.
I haven't really gone to many music stores or been like looking. Normally I'd be looking for certain things or for stuff for my studio even, but I never even been in there the last year. I've just been on the road or in other studios around the world working, and so yeah, no gear acquisition this year, I don't think. Since I saw you last, I did have a tour this year of my own, which was the first one since before COVID.
Yeah.
So that like energized me a lot to play. It was like, 5 weeks of, I mean, we played every day. There was 5, 6 nights a week. I played 17 nights in a row without a day off. And that's something,
I follow it on Instagram.
I've done that since I was a
posting.
20-year-old,
That's
He's
gnarly.
still alive.
Yeah,
I
that's
hadn't
gnarly,
done stuff like that since I was 20. And it was like, it was hard, but it was nice because, a week into that tour, it was like, oh, there I am. Finally, I'm back. Like, there's my chops. There's me.
Yes.
And that was nice.
You were thirsty for that feeling when we chatted. You were like, I'm kind of pent up for.
It doesn't matter how much you sit here by yourself in improv. You need to be doing it like with other people in that setting. You know what I mean? To really kind of be, I don't know, to be at your peak of your powers, I guess. You know.
So you still like, when you think about improv, is there like certain things that you do on the guitar when you're not in the setting of playing that kind of keep that muscle working? Or is it just like you just turn it off and then when you get in it, you're like, here I am, I'm back in the field?
I don't know. I mean,
Subliminal.
whenever I pick up a guitar, I'm sure the guys are the same. I'm improvising. I never just sit around and like noodle.
No, yeah.
Even if I'm noodling, I'm hearing changes. I'm playing a groove, whether it's, a vamp or not, or changes. I'm hearing that. I'm hearing a groove. I'm hearing changes. So I'm always like soloing, not just noodling.
Yeah.
But even that is so different than doing it with other musicians where you're reactive,
100%.
To what's going on. And also dynamic. Like, we never, when we're sitting here playing by ourselves, play with dynamics.
No, you're just on.
Breaking it down for, you know what I mean?
Who am I breaking it down for?
It's very recent that I noticed all my favorite guitar players and people that I would get to meet and these people I admired, they would all just sit down and be playing music in time. And it's such a silly revelation, but it is a revelation that maybe not a lot of players consider. And you don't have to know jazz. That doesn't mean play through the changes.
No, not at all.
What does that mean to you?
We get so like locked into these like things that we've learned that we love to play that are like, this is I play this and this, when this chord comes, I play this kind of thing, or when this is happening, I go here and I do this, and that's great. But often we ignore, like, our brain has always given us something. Like, if you start playing whatever, the groove you guys just played for me, my brain is immediately telling me to play something. Even when we're in the car and something comes on the radio, I'm immediately, besides enjoying it, I'm normally hearing like, oh, what could I do on this? Where do I go?
That's the sickness all guitar players have, is they start hearing a song, hearing that.
Yeah. Or if it's not blowing over it, it's even hearing like, oh, what's going on there? Oh, maybe I would add.
Yeah.
Whatever, a part or a downbeat chanks or this or that. Like, I'm hearing something over that thing that I'm listening to, and I think sometimes it's easy to kind of neglect or ignore that narrative of, but man, that's gold. Like, it's literally, it's your instincts are telling you, like, bam, play this. And instead we go right for, let me play my Jimmy Page lick number 7 that I play right in this spot, or my,
it's
Albert
a good
King
lick,
this.
but put it back in the bag.
But it is one of those things, I feel like, as a guitar, like, to go with your intuition sometimes is scary, where you're like, oh, I'm going to go with my gut. I don't know if this is going to work, when I know my other lick is going to, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But it's like the fearlessness jumping off sometimes. I feel like that's the best part.
I see it like breadcrumbs, or like Indiana Jones when he travels overseas and the airplane leaves the dots behind them. I see it like, go follow this.
And you see the whole trip though sometimes, or like pretty far ahead.
Large chunks.
Yeah.
I see large chunks, and it's mostly reactionary. It's more that I'm quick to, if I play something, I immediately know what I have to play after that. Besides, like, the obvious, the Albert Kings, B.B. Kings, the heroes. I remember hearing like Dickie Betts.
Oh yeah.
And you could always like kind of listen to his solo even if you'd never heard it before, and you'd hear one lick and you'd know what lick was next.
Oh yeah.
Just because it made so much sense. If he played bo-do-da-dee-at and do-do-da-dee-at and he was going to play bo-do-da-dee-at and did-and-did-a-did-and he's going to answer it, you know what I mean? And those type of solos were always the ones that I enjoyed the most, because and I think also those are the type of solos that get the people who don't play guitar to really enjoy them.
Exactly. It's sort of like a great song lyric that it's so obvious when the thought is said. It's like, why didn't I think of it? That's exactly how I feel.
And
I could never
simplistic.
say it. Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
so simple. And it's just like a guitar line. It's like, oh, well, duh, but it's so simple, but there it is. And no one ever really said it like that.
I did this one of those guitar camps. It was like George Lynch and Paul Gilbert and all these, like Greg Koch was there.
Okay.
And we were playing over Come Together.
Nice.
Everyone was just burning, dude. And I remember I was thinking in my head, I was like, I was next. I was like, I don't really have anything to say. You know, sometimes you're like, what do I even say?
Right.
So I went, So I was just playing the melody.
Yeah.
And it was like, people were like, dude, yeah.
Wait,
but it was like,
that's the song.
I played like the simplest thing I could think,
Right.
but it latched on with the people that weren't the guitar. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
The service of the song. We should try and improvise right now, but only play rhythmically.
Okay, so how do you mean like no lead? Like,
So that we're all gonna, I mean, we'll have harmony, but no lead playing. So let's see if we can distinguish 3 different rhythmic parts.
all right, what do you want to
We'll
start
have
with?
We don't all want to play. This is, for people who get together and jam, and they're just playing like what would be the simplest,
Right. So, I mean, if you're holding diamonds like that and he's strumming, then I'm automatically going to play something that doesn't sustain.
Yeah, dude. And I'd want to move up here. I go.
So diamonds meaning whole notes.
Diamonds meaning whole
like a
notes.
nest.
This is where Josh is coming in with that kind of like that producer brain a little bit. Because like, I feel like you're fleshing it out like a track, which is amazing. And that's the way it should be.
Well, you're reacting to what's going on. So, yes, if I was in the studio, I would be thinking along the same lines.
What about your production? That's a good kind of segue into that whole world of yours.
This year, it's been literally the year of this.
Yeah.
I noticed that shirt. I sent you a man.
Well, it's funny. I bought 7 new BB King shirts to wear the rest of this year.
Yeah.
Because my whole year
That's
has
awesome.
been BB King.
The year of King.
This year, he would have turned 100 years old just last month, September 16th. And starting in January, Joe and I started working on this tribute to BB 100th album.
Yeah.
The family actually approached us to make it, which is super cool. So it's like the official BB King 100th birthday record. It has literally everybody possible on this. Like,
How much is how long have you been working on it? Or how much can you
January, there's 33 songs on it. There's like
Jeez,
40
man.
guests.
spill? Whoa, dude. How could you even narrow it down? There's probably everyone in the world. You just like,
Well, I mean, some people said no, which was shocking. Some of the people I asked, most said yes, it's BB King. You know what I mean? There's some huger names that haven't been announced yet that I probably can't say.
and you're producing with Joe? Is that
Joe and I
your
produced
role?
it together.
That's so cool.
And
What an undertaking, man.
yeah, so basically how it started was like with a list of guests that we wanted to have. Just, wish list basically. And then I wrote a list of, to me, what were the most important BB songs that we had to do. And for me, that means not just the most obvious ones, but the greatest ones, like the ones that matter a lot to me. And then Joe, of course, would throw in the ones that mattered to him if I missed something. And we came up with this list, So then we went in the studio, just kind of by ourselves, me and Joe and Lamar, and actually Travis played bass because we did it in LA, so Calvin couldn't come and play bass, and Jeff Babco played keys because it was on break for tour, so Reese was here in Nashville. So we did the first 2 days, it was just 2 days of sessions, we tracked 24 songs.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah. I mean, now this is blues
Come
music,
in prepared, obviously.
I really, really know.
This is like the back of your hand.
Yeah. How many one takers were there?
Many.
That's awesome.
Many. But also I did a lot of preparation, just myself, like for each song I had like a little note to myself for like what I was going to tell everybody, just so I made sure we hit like the things that were important. I wasn't super concerned with like 100% sound alike. It was more like, well, if this drum fill happens that's iconic, I have to make sure that I mention it to Lamar. So I had little notes for each song and an arrangement kind of just written out for each song. And we just went in and knocked them all out. And nobody was soloing because we figured it was going to be all soloists, guests, you know. So it's just Joe and I playing rhythm guitar and Babco playing organ and piano and Travis playing bass and Lamar playing drums. And we tracked all these songs all in the original keys because I kind of had, for each song, I had like one or two artists written next to them that I thought could do them in the original keys. So then we started reaching out to artists like, hey, we're doing this thing. We thought about this song for you. What do you think? And honestly, I'm still shocked at how right we got that. Like so many of them wanted the songs that I kind of earmarked for them.
That's the producer ear. It
didn't always work that way. Some came back at me and were like, hey, can I do this song? Oh, we hadn't tracked that one. Okay, we'll go back and do it. So we did. We had other sessions as we went on where like Buddy Guy asked he wanted to do Sweet Little Angel and he wanted a specific key and we had already tracked it in a different key. So we went and tracked it for him again.
I guess, man.
Yeah,
buddy,
sorry, buddy. I
in
can't
one
do
take.
Buddy,
Fine.
yeah.
Put a cape on.
like Paul Rodgers from Bad Company. It's funny. We tracked Nightlife, which is the song that Willie Nelson wrote, but BB made it his. He did many versions of Nightlife. And my favorite was, there's two versions. There's the Blues is King version, live version, which is amazing. And then there's this version from the 70s that has Joe Sample and the Crusaders on it.
Oh, wow.
And they do a medley of Nightlife and Please Send Me Someone to Love.
Cool.
And it's amazing. So we tracked that version. And I thought, man, Paul Rodgers would kill this. So we asked Paul Rodgers, and he said, Nightlife is my favorite, but I want to do the Blues is King version. So we went back in and tracked the Blues is King version.
But for you, it's like, I can only imagine the honor. So it's like, no matter what, you're like, oh, you want me to recut it, the different version? Yeah. It's cool. It's great.
Anytime someone had a very specific version they wanted, to me, that was awesome.
Yeah, you're like, this is sick.
They're going to be dialed in.
They want to really do it.
They're going to be on the project. They want to do this version of this song. So that was really cool. And it was, a massive undertaking because we were on the road all year.
1 billion emails.
It's a billion. Well, it was all the artists and then
management,
their engineers, wherever they were going to track their bit if I couldn't come to them. So often they were tracking their bit remotely. So I was having to communicate with people and get them a Pro Tools session or a rough if they don't track in Pro Tools, make sure it's from zero and on the grid so that they get it back to me and it all works. And I'm on Pro Tools on my laptop constantly. Often people sending me back stuff that didn't follow instructions and having to fix, and get
it's like it's 4 milliseconds off. Oh, this is kind of bad.
Lots of that, having to line it up and hope it's what
they intended it. Yeah.
A lot of that.
All in a day's work of a producer.
It was a big project. It's done now. It's mastered.
Amazing.
The first 11 songs have come out already.
Great.
But I got to do some killers. Like I went to George Benson's place and recorded him, just the stories from him all day and spending the day with him. Then we went out to eat, just the two of us, and it was like, I'll never forget this day. I brought him one of these actually, one of my models, because he's an Ibanez.
Oh, right.
And I was like, dude, I'm literally part of the reason I'm with Ibanez is because you are with Ibanez. Here, please have one of my guitars.
Dude, I got to bring this up. Like, I don't want to forget about it, but can we just talk about the strings for a minute?
Oh, yeah.
I have to.
Yeah. What's up?
Dude, I have to, bro.
Josh Smith heads will know, but you use the lightest gauge, right? 7 gauge strings. The lightest.
Is that a Billy Gibbons?
The light. I'm up to 7.5 now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Quite the contrary, right?
Yeah, but that's part of the sound thing for me too. Like I needed stuff that sounded good with these strings, which not everything does.
The reason I bring it up is because when you were tuning your guitar electric unplugged without anything was louder than me. It was loud.
He was tuned down a half step. I was like, oh crap, we got to tune down.
No, he's loud, man.
Like, oh, bam.
Yeah, so I'm using 13 through 58 in standard tuning. I've used that same gauge and setup since I was 15. And obviously Stevie was the reason, one of the reasons. Another reason was I once sat in. I probably told that story when we talked before.
That's right.
And someone handed me a guitar to sit in, and it had that setup
heavies.
on it, and I couldn't play, and it pissed me off like to no.
Can I try something?
Yeah.
Can I borrow that? No, it's noticeable.
The G string is no joke.
The G string
is,
with the pinky is the most noticeable.
That's the one.
Give it
Yeah,
a
let me
shot?
just play it really quick. The one thing that freaks me out, and I think a lot of people don't understand with
Sorry to be passing your guitar around,
That's
sir.
fine.
with some of these guitars is the way that Josh plays, man. When you do bends and stuff like that, no one can tell how heavy the strings are except. I mean, it's comfy though, Josh. It's heavy, brother.
Hey, you sound fucking good on that, man.
Well, you know what it does though is because we have this kindred thing with Stevie that when I pick it up, all of a sudden all of like my being wants to flip and it's so heavy though, bro. I'm not used to it.
Wow.
But it feels awesome.
It feels good. You know, there's lots of good things about the heavy strings, you know, and I don't want I've gotten arguments about it and things, and it's a personal.
Been in a lot of fights.
It's a personal thing.
Absolutely.
Because just like we talked about with any other gear, I have people come at me with it like, why are you doing that? You know, B.B. King didn't play those. He didn't need them. Billy Gibbons, listen to him. Listen to Steve Vai. You know, and it's like
Nothing to do with you.
what they want to do. It's me. This is me. It's what I like. You know, it's what I. Oh, but Rick Beato's video proved that they sound exactly the same.
Did you know you don't actually need a guitar to get a pickup sound?
This is the thing. I don't understand where any of these conversations go because that's the beauty about guitar is that everyone's different. Yeah. Everyone has individual flavors and people can't seem to accept that.
Yeah.
It's like food.
They don't want to, man.
At the end of the day, the biggest reason that I've stuck with these strings and continue to play them, besides the tone that I prefer that they give me and the intonation stability and tuning stability, the real main reason that I stick with these strings is because of the mindset they require me to have to play every day with them. There's no half-assing it with these strings.
You got to pick.
There's no phoning it in when you get to the gig and you're on a bad day and you don't feel like playing. I can't do that. I have to play, and I like that.
You got to be at the top of your game at all the times.
Makes me go. Like, it's like, no, you got to play, man. You got to play or else nothing comes out.
Badass.
Yeah, it's a great mindset.
Who are the unsung guitar heroes that we should know about?
One that I've always loved that most people don't know is this California guy, Roy Lanham, from the 50s. He was a good friend of Leo Fender's. He was one of the early Fender endorsers, kind of like Speedy West and Joe Ryan and stuff. But he was a real jazzer. But he was, playing on a Jazz Master and stuff because Leo was giving him guitars. And he was a big influence on Danny Gatton, who is one of my biggest influences. That's how I heard about him. Someone gave me a tape that had Danny Gatton on one side and Roy Lanham on the other side. And Roy Lanham was in a band called Sons of the Pioneers and also the Whippoorwills in the 50s, like, Bakersfield country jazz type stuff. Dude, this guy's one of the best players I've ever heard.
What are some Roy Lanham?
Yeah, I was about to say, what was the
like,
vibe?
what did you take
Well,
from
like
him?
Danny Gatton got a lot of stuff from him.
Okay,
So like, not like the banjo-y stuff. It was more like the harmony stuff and like Danny would play stuff on G. He would play like. He got that from him for sure. And like 251 stuff that I heard Danny play, like stuff like that's straight from Roy Lanham. He got that. Roy was just really melodic and creative with harmony. He did a lot of like chord melody, but not like Joe Pass chord melody, like more like country
dude melody.
Yeah, and it was just really killer stuff. He did a song called Song of India that Danny then did with the Redneck Jazz Project. And I had never heard the Roy version. And then when I heard it, it was like this big connecting the dots moment of like, shit, this is where Danny Gatton got some of this stuff.
It's kind of crazy when you think about guys like that and Jimmy Bryant and Speedy West and all that stuff, when it was like guitar and pedal steel and like that Leo Fender, Paul Bigsby era, and like how it was all emerging, and those guys were all in the same kind of fold. So like that first lick you played, that Danny Gatton thing, it's like you feel like you could hear that on a pedal steel, or like it's so
for sure.
crazy, man, when that stuff all melded together.
Yeah, I mean, there were so many players from that era, like Joe Maphis and stuff like that, like just crazy, technically amazing players, you know, just way ahead of its time. Like,
Did you get into like chicken picking and country stuff early on, or did that come after bluesy stuff?
way after blues and rock, even after jazz.
Wow.
Like, chicken picking came directly because of Danny Gatton, like only because of Danny Gatton. Like for me, first it was definitely like Albert King and Stevie and Hendrix.
Yep.
BB, Freddie King, Otis Rush, Magic Sam, blues. Like that was my beginnings. And then jazz kind of started to creep in. First like Charlie Parker and Coltrane, but then also like fusion, like Robin Ford and Larry Carlton, and you know, from the guitar side of it. But then Danny, when someone handed me that tape of Danny.
How old were you?
15,
Okay.
Maybe
Still
14,
young.
15.
Yeah.
And that tape just floored me because he had so much facility, and then there was all this technique that literally you couldn't play the things he was playing unless you also did the technique.
Yeah.
Unless you like started to hybrid pick, you couldn't play what he's playing. It just wasn't possible. Or the open strings and the trilling and the this and the that. And so that changed the way I played almost overnight once I started to work on some of his things. And for me, that was a big part of when I started to feel like my voice started to emerge. Because I started with like Stevie, wanting to be Stevie Ray Vaughan. And then I started to work in some of this jazz stuff that I was liking, and it was like, oh, this is cool. But then when I started to work in the Danny techniques and started hybrid picking everything and started incorporating kind of drones and open strings and just all those things together, that was when I felt like, oh, this sounds like me.
That's
like,
awesome, man.
Can you demonstrate, if I play like a Texas Shuffle, demonstrate where you started and then how you incorporated things?
So when I started, my hand was like anchored on the guitar like this, and it was like straight up, you know, normal. But then maybe as I started to get into more harmony, it would be like But then Danny started to come in, and I started to combine like the open string runs and the stuff and the jazz. So he would go like.
Dude, it's so
it was
cool.
Instantly recognizable, and you were doing it, you know, to perfection, I think, as far as paying homage to that and making it your own in the process. But the open string cascading thing, it's something we saw with Tommy Emmanuel, does that so well.
Dude, he
with
does
just-
so much. Like he does everything
but
so
It's every
well.
guitar player's reaction.
I'm saying
when
the
you hear
one
that
thing, like when I was just watching you play now, right away I was like, yeah, because I felt like I was like Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Vaughn, all that cool Texas stuff. And then all of a sudden you're like, I started to add a little harmony, and then I was like, ooh, now it's getting like interesting. Then when you went like Danny Gatton, it was like, okay, cool, this guy is just like assaulting the fretboard, man.
Right.
It's like,
But
now
it's
it's like a
still-
playground, man.
It almost felt, even though it was technically the most complex, it felt the most musical.
Well, it felt like you.
It's the most me.
It's the most you, authentic, so that's part of it too, and it felt fresh.
Well, I mean, and that was extreme example because I'm doing 1, 2, 3. It's like, let me just. It's more of a mix of all of that all the time. You know what I mean?
I still think that's an effective demonstration of where you start versus where you can go versus because a lot of people kind of
Yeah.
stop in that middle area and then build their voice from there just because of the technical part.
Well, the voice was always, I mean, I don't know how you feel about your voice, you know, as an artist, but I just remember being pretty self-aware at like 16 of like, man, I can't just sound like
Stevie Ray
Stevie
Vaughan.
Ray
Well,
Vaughan,
dude,
you know, like I
I
can't.
felt the same way, and like probably like yourself, it was like there was a moment in time for me that I was like, if I can sound like, I didn't care about anyone that didn't sound like Stevie or they didn't bend a certain way like Albert King. If they didn't, I go, oh, I don't even care. I'd write it off.
Oh, dude, I mean, and I love Robin Ford with all my heart, but at 15, I didn't
Nope,
like Robin
nope,
Ford
I didn't
because
care.
it was too slick and he didn't bend enough strings, and I wanted Albert King, you know.
Josh, if I didn't hear someone do that, if I didn't hear that, the microtone that I wanted, nah, I'm good.
I was at a blues festival playing with my band, and I had my hat on and my Stevie Ray Strat, and we played, you know, a set that was probably, you know, 25, 30% Stevie Ray Vaughan tunes, and I, you know, came off stage. That was great. And I'm a kid, you know, with a group of adults playing, and then another band came on the other stage, and it was like 60-year-old dudes with a hat and a Stevie Ray Vaughan Strat playing Stevie Ray Vaughan note for note, and that was like, that's it. That's it.
Oh.
Like, is that what I sound like and what I look like? Oh, wait a minute.
I also, yeah,
That's
man.
not even the same kind of pain as just having a bad gig. That's like having a good gig, but then your gig meant slightly less to you after seeing. Because you're like, it's not special, it's not unique to you. Or,
Yeah, exactly.
it's okay if you want to get up there and jam. Like, well, some cover bands are some of my favorite bands.
Yeah.
It's who do it well, but doesn't always
No, but
fulfill us.
I was always kind of, this shit has always been so important to me.
Right.
I knew then, like, that's it. This is my life. This is all I'm going to do.
You're a lifer.
So also it was like, okay, I need to quickly get on to the next step. Like, you know, it's time to take the next ladder rung up, you know, like figure out how you start to arrive at not just playing like your heroes, being one of them if you can. How do you become a guy like that?
Dude, I remember too, like I had a similar experience when I was doing the Stevie thing, and one of my friends was like, I was like, how did it sound after like a gig or a jam or whatever? He's like, dude, that one solo, it sounded so close to like Stevie Ray Vaughan. And like, I was like, yeah, okay, cool. And then like afterwards I was like, well, how do I sound like me? Because like, am I just gonna try and do that? And it's funny, you see some of these people that were just like us, and I'm not trying to downplay anyone on any level, but you'll see someone and they'll be dressed like someone, and they'll be almost like cosplaying another guitar player. And I don't have any hate for that because that was me. But you start to say to yourself, you're like, geez, man, they have a lot of talent, and clearly they know what they're doing. So hopefully they'll be able to take that.
But dude, that's, I mean, like I said, I was wearing the hat and all that. That's part of the reason I stopped, you know, I wear a hat now, but not a Stevie style.
No, you got your own hat.
There's a very specific hat that you're not allowed to wear unless
That's
you're.
also one of the biggest reasons I play a Tele style guitar now and not a Strat style guitar. Because if I picked up your Strat that was sitting right there, I would instantly play not just Stevie,
Yeah.
but it's on my mind when I pick up a Strat. I would think more Stevie, I would think more Hendrix, I would think more Curtis Mayfield. I would think of these certain things that I associate with Strats. If I picked up a Les Paul style guitar, or a 335 especially, I would play automatically things that I associate with B.B. King, or Larry Carlton, or Otis Rush. When I play this guitar, I don't think about any of that shit. I just play. And the Tele, that was the epiphany. Because at first, when I was a kid and I was comparing Tele to Strat, I didn't like Teles at all. Like, I was like, this guitar is bright and the tuning isn't as good as a Strat and it's not as comfortable as a Strat to play all night long and all of these things. There's compromises in this guitar and I didn't understand it. And now those are the things that make me love this guitar more than any, are those shortcomings, those compromises, the hardness of it. It's what makes it such a magical instrument that's able to literally be molded into anything you put in and you put it in some other player's hands, like Julian Lage, and he sounds like Julian Lage, just on a Tele. But he doesn't sound like Danny Gatton or Brent Mason or, like not at all. You know what I mean? That's why it's the simplest instrument, but in my opinion, it actually is the most versatile solid body electric guitar ever made, without question.
We said this and we got into this subject last time we chatted. Jared, what do you think? The Tele is the ultimate guitar, according to Josh Smith, who I may defer to. He's pretty good. But what do you think about the ultimate guitar? Is it going to be any specific one?
No,
is it the one in your hands, man?
Well, here's the thing. I think when you look at like the way that Josh just said it with the Telecaster, like they basically got that thing perfect from day one. A Telecaster, I feel like, is like a post-apocalyptic guitar. Like, you'll find a Telecaster.
Cockroach guitar?
Yeah, dude.
It's going to survive?
Kind of, man. I mean, I've seen Telecasters. I've seen someone drunk fall downstairs and watch the Telecaster spin. He picked it up and he still played it. As much as I love and worship a lot of Gibsons and a lot of like Les Pauls and stuff, the limitations of it are what make it so special. Where, like Josh said, when you think about it, it's like, even an Esquire, they're so simple, but the amount of sounds and it's so player touch sensitive. Yeah. Whoever plays it, it's going to sound completely different.
Yeah, it's the only guitar that if I got hired for a job, if someone called me and said, hey, I need you to play guitar, can you be here in an hour?
You grab a Tele.
Hang up. And they tell me it pays good and to be here and I don't know what the gig is, I will grab, because this guitar will do whatever.
When I pick up this guitar, I start to play like this. Or when I pick up this guitar, I play like this. When you pick up that guitar, you play like yourself. That is like a revelation to any guitar player, I feel like.
That's the truth.
Is if you find a guitar that speaks to you and simply put inspires you to play and inspires you to really do it, that's the whole name of the game.
That's the whole name of the game with gear in general. That I think sometimes gets overlooked because everybody loves gear and gets obsessed with gear because it's fucking awesome. But it's in service of like the gig, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I always find it hysterical, and it'll be probably in the comments of this video, when people critique or give you comments on, I preferred your tone when you play this guitar, or man, I went to your gig and why do you need so many pedals on your pedal board, or why do you have that much reverb on, or blah, blah, whatever the comment is. And I always come away from that thinking, wait a minute. You just told me you came to my gig. You paid money to come to my gig. So you have an interest in hearing me do what I do. Do you think you would have enjoyed the show more or less if I didn't like my rig and I was like feeling compromised or unhappy?
100%, man.
Also, give me your number because I'm going to have to check with you before every gig now.
I mean, dude, I've had legitimately people walk up to me after a show and they'd be like, ugh, you're playing that Epiphone guitar. Oh, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm just going, dude, like that's your takeaway was the name on the headstock. I
get it with this.
Exactly.
People who didn't understand why I went with Ibanez, or listening with their eyes, or just listening with prejudice, like that guitar is made in Japan. Yeah, so fucking what? That's amazing.
Yeah, and did you hear it?
There, man.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah, like literally, I've done the A/B test. I did it when we were building my first model with my guitars. I did it until I couldn't hear the difference at all.
And also, you're the driver, brother. Like, you are the one that's going to be making all the sounds with it. And if you're, like you said, if you're comfortable with the rig and it simply put inspires you to play at your best and give the people what they want,
you're going to give them a better show.
That's it.
They're going to end up enjoying it more if you're happy with what you got.
How many times have you picked up an old, like, let's say it's an old guitar or something that's supposed to be amazing, could be a new guitar, and you just are feeling left just with so much, you're like, dude, I'm not feeling this at all.
Yeah.
It happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Or a pedal. No, it's not hitting it right.
For me, mostly, it's the most hit or miss for me are amps. Like it's instantaneous.
I know you're an amp guy, bro.
Well, when I plug into an amp, it's either yes or no instantaneously.
Because you feel it?
Yeah, because it's the way it feels under my fingers, and if it has enough headroom, and it will enable me to do what I have to do. And I know right away if it will allow me to do what I want to do.
It's the ultimate feel for that. That speaks highly of how you feel with that guitar. You know what
dude,
I mean?
and during COVID, when I was doing my YouTube videos and I asked all the people I interviewed, would you rather have a shitty guitar and a great amp or a shitty amp and a great guitar? You know, it was split 50-50.
Wow.
But I'm always like, give me the crappy guitar and a great amp, because I cannot. It doesn't matter if I have my number one and I'm playing through the worst amp on the planet. It's terrible
gas.
no matter what.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Well, I might be on the other side of that equation, Joe.
Really?
Yeah.
It's been 50. It was literally, I think I did 55 or 60 of those interviews. I did it for a year straight every week, and it was split.
Here's
Wow.
the parameter. So if we're talking the quality level is acceptable on both sides, then I think you're right. So if an acceptable quality guitar into an incredible amp, meaning like it's going to stay in tune.
Sure.
Because the way I always interpreted that question is, if I pick up a guitar and it won't stay in tune, it just then it doesn't matter if I'm playing through your rig and Joe's on stage. I'm just not gonna sound. I'm not gonna be confident to hit certain stuff. Yeah. So that's the way I interpret that question.
It has to be a functionally playable guitar.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that in mind, yeah, probably amp is the right. But guitars look cool, man.
I would have to
Are
say
we guitar players or are we amp players?
Dude, I'd have to say amp too, because especially you guys both, you know, I just using my fingers especially, there's certain things that if I don't have like an amp that's like talking back to me, if I do have that amp, I feel like it's magic. It's untouchable. And you're like, I can play anything in my brain and anything I want to come out. But if that amp is gated me and it's like, it's chopped me in half, yeah, you're left to your own devices. You start trying to play harder and like, you know, you're trying to compensate. No, I'm with Josh on that.
But like, I mean, you've got like a Dano on the wall there, or like a Harmony Stratotone. These are technically shit guitars, crap guitars, but they can inspire.
I gave him that guitar.
But they can, but I mean, you know what I'm saying? Inspire you to play cool stuff, but not if you're also pairing it with this amp that sounds like, you know, a JC120, you know? Not to shit on that amp.
Yeah. This one's a 800. We're good. Is this an acceptable amp, would you say? Like, plug in, it's not a hell no.
It's not a hell no. It's not a me amp.
Your normal amp.
Yeah, it's not a me amp. Like if I was going to grab an amp for this situation, it would be a Fendery type
Something like
amp.
this.
Yeah, Princeton or
Princeton or
something
something.
like that,
Right.
you know? But yeah.
So no matter the platform, though, you can demonstrate these sort of tele style that you're looking
So
for.
this guitar is slightly more like a modified Telecaster. This is a prototype for the Flat V2 that just came out.
Okay, so this isn't the same one you had last year.
No, so my
Yeah,
Flat
this is a new one.
You had a
the
black
first
one last
signature
year.
model with Ibanez is called the Flat V1. It's black. It's an ash body with this neck, maple neck, and regular tele setup, you know, neck pickup. And this was a prototype for the 2 that just came out, which is a different color, has a rosewood board. But so this is in the middle. This is an alder body, like the new one, but with the maple neck on it. So it's, in theory, it's like a late 50s Fender, like a 57, 58, alder body, maple neck, and then with the humbucker in here. And actually, this humbucker in here is purposely not perfectly balanced. I wanted this guitar, when we were prototyping it, and now that it's out, I wanted it to feel more like a vintage Tele that you dropped a humbucker in, that as opposed to one that you wound perfectly to go with that bridge pickup. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
because
cool.
there's something magic about modified Telecasters. Like if you ever heard Jeff Beck and Keith Richards, you know what I'm talking about. They didn't go around trying to find the perfect PAF that measured out exactly like their bridge
dropped it
pickup.
in.
They dropped that shit in there and it just sounded cool, you know?
Oh, yeah.
So this neck pickup is a little hot and thick, you know? So, I mean, it's perfectly jazzy enough to play jazz on. And then the middle position, it's a little different than a straight Tele, but this is where you, of course, get all the, like, Steve Cropper stuff and the... know, I mean, that's
Gorgeous.
only a Tele does that sound because it's got no middle pickup. So it's just going neck and bridge, and that's that sound. You know what I mean? And then, of course, only a Tele does this sound.
Josh, you seem like a guy kind of like me too, and I know Tyler does it a little bit, but I'm always writing these volume tones.
I'm always writing volume. Tone is more specific based on the song and the part, but
Yeah.
volume I'm writing
Get
constantly.
all the fluctuation in that,
Yeah,
clean it up.
yeah. With the Strat I'm writing the pickups constantly.
Right.
Strat, you'll see me change in the middle of a phrase, maybe 2-3 times.
Yeah.
Go neck bridge, and that's part of the cool thing about a Strat too. Sometimes you flick it and it gets stuck in one of the in between positions, and you're improvising, and all of a sudden that section of the lick sounds classy, and then you quickly go down back to the bridge. Like, that's a cool thing about Strat.
Every now and then it works out for you. So why humbucker in the neck? Is there any specific?
Because I just wanted this, well, number one, to differentiate the Flat V2 from the Flat V1, the Flat 5.1. I wanted,
in a T-style guitar, what's the reason for that versus the other way around, for example?
Well, because this is the Telecaster magic, is the
That's the
Telecaster
magic.
bridge.
That's the sauce.
You know what I mean? You need that Tele bridge to get that in-between sound and to get the twang. You know what I mean? And, and it's not just for twang. I mean, that Tele bridge is also like...
That's also the sound of metal, if you want it to be.
Yeah, but it's also like the sound of like Prince playing, on a Honer. Like, lots of funk is on a Tele, you know what I mean?
The Telecaster is the ultimate guitar. You need a better amp than guitar if you're choosing one. What other hot takes have we established with Josh?
The Telecaster is the ultimate guitar for me,
For you.
at least in terms of expression.
And it doesn't matter sort of what the headstock, all the gear, everything is in service to your musicianship.
I think that's the biggest takeaway, man.
Like, it's hard to
the
get to
headstock.
wrap your mind around. How many pieces of gear and guitars will you go through before you really internalize that lesson?
I don't know. It's different for everybody.
Because there was a
obviously.
time when you didn't know that.
No, there was definitely a time when I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And I mean, just to, put the other side of the coin, my pedal boards are normally more complex than most because I like gear.
Yeah.
Like, I have MIDI switching and, sometimes a few things on there that are specialized for certain moments and this and that. Because I stay up on gear. I like to know what's going on and what's new, and I like to know, why people are using certain things and whatever. Often more than you would need for a simple blues gig, you know what I mean? And that's kind of where part of those comments that I made earlier come from. I remember blues guys giving me shit for my pedal board back in the day. Yeah. Like, dude, plug straight into the amp, or you maybe need one pedal.
Put a tube screamer down or whatever.
We have had almost every person we've chatted with has shared a story of being accosted because of their gear.
I think
Really?
it's a
natural
natural thing, and also, I think that a lot of people, it takes a lot of time and a lot. Like, you seem like a tinkerer to me.
I love to tinker.
That's kind of at the heart and soul of what it is. We keep looking at it and we keep messing with it to try and get the sounds out. It's the same with pedals. I feel like swapping stuff on your guitar.
Well, I just love trying to make something better.
Yeah.
It could be better, man.
And you go, man, if you put that pickup and it's not going to be right with the bridge, it's going to give you a different pop. You know what I'm saying?
I appreciate those little nuances, though. I think one of the best compliments I ever got from another guitar player, he was like, dude, your delay tails were epic.
That should be on a t-shirt.
I almost started welling up. I was like, thank you. I worked on those millisecond timings for
you
that.
heard that? You heard that?
I wasn't sure on the mix if I was going to sell for 51% or 50%, and thank you for noticing.
I really appreciate it.
But we also do get a little wacky with certain things. Like, I remember going through, like, Josh, you've probably done this, but like trying out 10 different fuzz pedals.
Oh, yeah, sure.
And you're like, nope. Okay, but let me keep, you know what I mean? It's part of the...
Well, I remember when I kind of settled on my philosophy, I guess you would say, for for getting my tone and how much of that had to do with compression that I became super strict on then examining every link in my chain to eliminate compression, like as much as possible. So if I was only adding gain compression if I wanted it, like as an effect, as this or that. But otherwise, I was trying to get rid of it, trying to get rid of compression, trying to maximize dynamic range and flexibility so that I could have as much control as possible. So I dove into that, like, let me find the cables that give me that feeling that I like, let me find the pickups that give me the feeling like that do that. And then the pedals, that's why normally, like if you look at my pedal board, most of my drive pedals are probably louder than your drive pedals because I've spec'd them out that way. I like ones that have just extreme amounts of headroom. And also probably my volume knobs on most of my drive pedals are all the way up.
That's awesome.
On all of them. Because I think they sound
better that way.
And it's an easy way if you ever like accidentally put them in the bag and then knobs get mixed up. It's like,
that's true too. I'm in a good place in personal life. Like life is really not, I just turned 46 a couple weeks ago. And I feel like, this is a weird business when you decide to give your life to something like we have. And there's so many ups and downs and left turns, where you're readjusting basically the dream that you've had since you were a kid. You change dreams like that. Or you accept new outcomes and new things. And right now I'm at a place where it's like I look around and I'm really happy. Like I'm playing guitar for a living still. My family is in really good situation. Like everybody's healthy and my kids are actually like grown, like my stepdaughter, my daughter, she's 33 now.
Wow.
My son just turned 20.
Is he recording your YouTube practice sessions yet? Or
my son? No.
I put him on that last year.
I remember you said, because I tried to get him to do that. See, he's actually in Japan right now. He stayed at the house.
Oh, cool.
And he's exploring Japan. He's figuring out his things.
Your new digs over in Japan.
And I'm playing my own music, the least that I have in the last 20 years. But also like, personally, like things are really great. Like my bills are paid. I feel like I'm more well known than ever, which is weird. It's
like, all because of your work with us.
It is, yeah, for sure.
It has nothing to do with your hard work.
You're
living the dream, and like I like that you said that you just constantly have to readjust your dream and kind of what it is.
Yeah, this dream was not my dream, the one that I'm living right now.
I think a lot of people will resonate with that because it's like, I always say, if I have a guitar in my hands, I'm happy, man.
Yes.
And I think that you share that, we all share that. And I think a lot of people that are watching it share that too, where it's like, yeah, this isn't really what I ever planned. Of course not.
But it's still better than the worst day I could be doing on some other job. Yeah. Without question.
The one true talent of a successful musician is that we know exactly what we're not supposed to be doing.
Yeah. 100%.
We may not know our true musical path, but we know what we're not supposed to be. And
I mean, okay, so I've been playing guitar since I was 6 years old. I've been playing gigs since I was 12 years old. All I did was live, breathe, sleep, the blues, the guitar. Started putting out records when I was 13 in the van, touring around the country. And, you get to this weird, it's a weird thing for whatever the so-called child prodigy bullshit, but people start telling you how your life is going to go. You're going to be a fucking legend, and you're going to be on cover of guitar magazines, and so you buy in. You start to buy into this is what my life is going to be. This is what I want to accomplish. Blah 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 blah. And then things go by, and things change, and you adjust. But I was also like coming up in this time where I saw there was some possibility for those things to come true. So because I had friends like, back in the day, Derek Trucks, we played together all the time when we were kids. We're both from Florida. We've known each other since we were 12 years old, and Joe, Joe was out there a few years before us because he's a couple years older than us, and we saw him on the news, you know what I mean? Eric Gales, he was out there a couple years before us too, because Eric's a few years older than Joe even. Actually, it was his birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Eric. you know, and then there was like Monster Mike Welch and myself and Johnny Lang and Kenny Wayne Shepherd. And the coolest thing about looking around at this whole scene from my generation there, we're all still like playing music professionally. We're
Top
all
dogs right
basically
now.
the same age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
And
a
we
cool
all
class.
knew
I never
of each
thought of it.
other.
Absolutely.
We all knew of each other. You know what I mean? But I was like, there was a time 20 years ago when after I'd been doing it for a while, I kind of hit the wall and gave up because I was jealous as fuck of Johnny Lang and Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Derek, because it was like these were my friends and peers and they had started to turn the corner and I hadn't, you know what I mean? And that's when I changed my path and my dream. It's when I got married and we moved to LA, and then I started to do different things and I started to do sessions and learn more things about the guitar and you know, be on the road playing music that necessarily wasn't my cup of tea, and start learning about tones that wasn't my thing, and learning techniques, and be growing as a musician, which has now served me as I've become a producer and these types of things. I would not be the guitar player that I am now, that's sitting here with you now, if I hadn't have made those left turns. You know what I mean? I'd still be plugging away, you know, playing. I'd be the old me probably.
Where does that insane drive to make those left turn after left turn come from?
Well, most of it is driven by necessity. I mean, it's driven by personal, like what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
I got married and wanted to be a responsible adult, at least to some degree. And I wasn't at first. It was hard, man. I had no bearing or background for how to make a living doing anything other than playing my gig.
Yeah.
You know, so it was like I had to learn, like, sessions was hard. I didn't have any idea how to do them. You know what I mean? I just, the only time I'd ever been in the studio before I moved to LA was to record my music. You know what I mean?
That's great.
So like it was learning how to
It's
do
like
those jobs.
Getting thrown in the deep end, but
Dude, Landau recommended me for one of my first sessions. So I'm going in there for fucking one of the greatest session guitar players in the history of the universe.
Unbelievable.
And I have
Don't mess this
no
one up.
idea what I'm gonna do. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Because they put a chart in front of you, a chord chart, and I played the chords correctly. I thought I was done.
Yeah.
Like it said G minor, C, D. I played G minor, C, D. Nailed that shit. No, you got to write a part, man. You got to come up with something magic on the
Yes,
fly.
yes.
Didn't know how to do any of those.
write the greatest guitar part ever. Come on, man, it's easy.
Man, that speaks volumes though of like your dedication to the guitar and how you were able to just like
Come back.
throw yourself. And that's something, man, being like so uncomfortable, but also being like, I'm going to figure it out.
It changed everything about me now being the guitar player I am now. I wouldn't be even close to what I am now if I didn't have to do all those things. Those sessions, the growing pains.
Oh, yeah.
The tone searching, even like getting to a session and asking them asking me to get a specific tone, and realizing, shit, I never even learned how to get. I don't know how to get tone like the edge. Like
Right,
what?
yeah.
I don't know how to program a delay to do dotted eighth note. You know what I mean? And a quarter note at the same time. I've never done that before. Or they want Tom Petty or Beatles, and I hated Vox amps. Fucking hated them. Now I love them. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
But it was driven by like trying to work and learn new things.
Learn the language as you went.
And those were all the left turns that have kind of led me to this new reality. But
Awesome.
Led you into this room right here.
but if you asked me at 14,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have done any of those things. I would never been producing records or this or
Producing
that.
B.B.
you know?
King's 100th birthday record.
Right. Like
And being able to do all that, man.
things you change and you react to them and you just roll with it. And then also you start to figure out things that are more important than the original dream, because you didn't even realize they would be, you know, and they become more important.
You can never predict what that dream would be, but what is one thing left on your ledger that you want to accomplish musically?
Musically,
Yeah.
what's most important for me musically is to not stop growing. And that's hard
Continue
when
to
you work
accomplish growth.
so much,
Yeah.
which is a great problem. But what's driven me most of my life is the want to be better tomorrow than today. To figure out something new to
chase.
bring in to my little world. I like that feeling of like, man, I'm better. I'm a better player this week than I was last week. Or I got some new shit in my bag. You know, I got some new ideas. I got a new this. I don't want to lose that. Like that is what has driven me more than anything else is like that push to like continue growing. I'm scared that I will lose that. That I don't want to lose.
Well, as long as we're around, we'll keep reminding you of it. You won't lose it around us.
I love this thing, man. I know we all do. I'm sure. I mean, it's still the only thing that I'm not a depressive guy, you know, knock on wood. Like I'm normally pretty even keeled.
Yeah.
But that being said, if I'm down, this thing still brings me out of it like that. I hope that never goes away because it's like, how many people have something that lucky that they can rely on?
It's like a superpower, man.
It is like a superpower.